Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So on this class we'll be learning how to make a flea dress exactly like this. So you're welcome to class. Do not forget to always practice, and whatever you make, please tag us. Thank you and subscribe. Now the first thing we'll do for this pattern is to draft out our reference line of 2 inches at the top of our paper. I'll be drafting out the reference line of 2 inches. It's clear. Okay. Yeah, after doing that, now for this pattern, the measurement we'll be using is for a size 10. So right now, I'll be putting down our measurements. But first of all, I'll be dividing our round hip divided by 4 to get the front and back of our pattern. Our round hip divided by 4. For this pattern, our round hip divided by 4 is 9.6. So I'll be putting down 9.6 from the center front. For this pattern, I'll be adding 2 inches extra to the 9.6 for ease. 2 inches for our ease. So 11.6. After doing this, I'll be inputting the length of our dress, which will be 33. The length of the dress will be 33. I'll mark out 33. That is almost the whole length of the paper, of our pattern paper. I'll connect the lines. So this is what we have. Now this becomes the back of our dress, and this becomes the front of our dress. Now the next thing I'll be doing is bringing down my bust points, my armhole points, under bust, to begin our under bust measurement for this pattern, and our hip points. Now the armhole, to get your armhole points, I dropped a tutorial on how to get some of your basic measurements that you do not need to measure. Now for this pattern, to get your armhole point, we need our round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 plus 1 inch. Your round bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 plus 1 inch. For this pattern, we have 8.5 inches as our armhole point. I'll be bringing down my 8.5 for both the front and the back. Please note that this measurement gives you your exact armhole, your armhole point. And at the back, we need our back half length. For this pattern, the back half length I'll be working with is 14, while the front half length is 16. The hip point is 25. So for the front, I'll bring down my bust point of 9.5, under bust of 13 inches, my front half length of 16 inches, hip point of 25 inches. I'll do that for the front and connect the lines. Okay guys, now after putting down our measurements, I'll be taking the round circumference of my armhole, my bust points, under bust, waist and hip. Now for my shoulder, the measurement I'm working with is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll be bringing down my shoulder measurement of 7.5. This is, they are disturbing me. My shoulder measurement of 7.5 for both front and the back. And for the back, my shoulder slope for the front is 1.5, while for the back is 1 inch, which I will bring down 1.5. So I'm working with the neckline of 3 inches, 3 by 3 for the front and 3 by 1.5 for the back. If you want to get your neck, your round neck, you do your round bust divided by 12 to get your round neck measurement. Your round bust divided by 12. So for this measurement, I'm working with a 3 by 3 for the front. I'm coming with my short rule. I'm just cross-checking my points. Then I'll connect it back to the neckline. Then I'll use my curve rule to mark out my round neck. For the back, our shoulder slope is 1 inch. So I'll come down by 1 inch at the shoulder. And I'm coming in by 3 inches for the neck width. 1.5 for our neck depth. Inches, 7.5. Now, for my back neck, I love to use this part of the curve to get my back neckline. So after doing this, you come down with your shoulder measurements down to your armhole point. You bring your shoulder measurements down. For this measurement, I have 7.5. Now for the back, we'll have what we call back tightening, and I'll be applying it on this pattern. Our back tightening, since we'll be having a back tightening, I'll be adding ½ inch to the shoulder measurements on the armhole. So 8 inches. But for the front, will be the exact 7.5. I'll come down, connect the line with broken lines. Coming down with broken lines. So far, this is what we've achieved. So for the front, I'm coming up by 3 inches for the front of my pattern, the armhole, you come up by 3 inches and I'm going in by 0.75. At the back, you just check what you have at the back and divide by 2. We have 7.5. So after dividing by 2, I'll go in by 0.5. With my long rule, I connect it back to the shoulder slope. And I'm coming in with my curve rule. But before that, the round bust we'll be working with is 9 inches for our round bust. So I'll bring down my 9 inches here plus ½ inch. I'll do the same thing for the front. My 9 inches plus ½ inch. Then I'll connect it with my armhole curve. We'll be needing a bust apart measurement. The bust apart I'm working with is 3.25 for the bust apart that I'm working with, and I'll be bringing it down on our waist point. So I'll bring down our 2.5, 3.025. I'll bring it down on our waistline to our bust. I'll extend to our bust point, our bust apart line, and I'll be using your bust apart. For your bust apart, you can use your dart lines. You can use 0.5 on both sides, which is 1 inch, or you can use 0.75 on both sides, making it 1.5. So for this pattern, I'll be using 1 inch, 0.5, and I'm connecting it to our bust point. Into our bust point. Now for this, I'll bring down our dart leg. I'll go up by 6 inches. I'm coming up by 6 inches from our M line. I will still bring down our bust apart all the way to our M line. And I'll be linking it down. So on that our that line, I'll be coming up by 6 inches. This is where our dart will stop. The dart leg, this is where it will stop, 6 inches. I'll do the same thing for the back. See? So for the back, before doing that, I have to bring down my back tightening at the waist. My back tightening is, I'm going in by 0.75 for my back tightening. 0.75, and I'll connect it. I'll divide what I have from my armhole to my neck, my neck depth, and I'll divide it by 2. So this is where my back tightening will stop. I'll just go ahead to connect. So with this, I'll still bring it down to the M line. Connect it down to the M line from our back tightening. So my buster part will be coming from that our back tightening. And I'm taking 0.5 from both sides, like the way I did for the front. Now here for our armhole point, I'll be coming down by 1 inch. So I'm connecting my darts to that 1 inch. So I'm connecting back the lines, the dart legs, to that 1 inch. Then I'll bring down my bust apart to the M line. I'll still go up by 6 inches. Now I'll be coming up by 6 inches. And connect my dart legs down to that 6 inches. Yeah, we have what we call underbust tightening. So my round underbust divided by 4 with 7.5 for this measurement. So I'll be bringing down 7.5, which will be my round waist also. So for my round waist, I'm bringing down 7.5 plus the 1 inch we use for our dart, making it 8.5. For my underbust, I'm bringing, okay, let me connect first. I'll be connecting my waist to the armhole. Connecting my waist to the armhole. So I'll be bringing down our bust dart. How do you get your bust dart? By the difference you have from your front waist and your back waist. Now for these measurements, the back waist is 14 inches while the front waist is 15 inches, 16 inches. Yeah, for this pattern. Now the difference is 2 inches. I'll be coming down from my bust point. I'll be coming down by 2 inches. I'll be coming down by 2 inches, and I'll still divide it by 1 inch. I will come out by 1 inch. On the 1 inch we came up, then I'm connecting from my armhole to that 1 inch. with my straight rule, and I'll be using my curve to connect it down to link to our waist. Okay. Now the next thing I'll do is impute our round hip circumference. My round hip divided by 4 is 9.6 for this pattern. So I'll be bringing down 9.6 plus what we have here. Here we'll have 0.3. I'll add it back and bring down my hip measurements. I'll link it to our hip points, our hip measurements here. Okay. I'll do the same thing for the hem line without adding any, because our dad leg did not get to the hem line. So we'll have 9.6. I'll just bring our 9.6 down and connect it down. Now you just have to blend up this area with your curve rule. So I'm connecting the 2 inches for our bust dart to our bust point. Yeah. So we are done with the front pattern. Moving to the back pattern, we have to close our bust dart to get the flay. For the back, I'll come in with my waist measurement, which is 7.5 plus 1 inch, 8.5. For our hip points, our measurement is 9.6. Now for the hemline, you bring down your 9.6. Okay. Now this is for our both fronts and back. This is our basic gown, this in pattern. This is the basic. Now we have to cut out the patterns. I have to separate the front and the back. I'll do that and we'll continue with the class. I've separated the front bodies from the back. Now what you will do is to open up our dart leg to close our bust dart. I'm going to be slashing this dart leg open from the okay. Now after slashing, I've cut out the front, I've separated from the front from the back. Now the first thing I will do is I'll be bringing down our under bust measurements, which is 7.5. I'll bring it down to do our under bust tightening. Okay, under bust 0.75. Okay, After doing this, what I have left is 1.025. 1.025. Now I'll be sharing it on both sides of our darts on the underboss. So I can do 1 inch. I can do 1 inch on the side. Whatever you're bringing to the side should be bigger than what you're bringing to the center front. Now I'm bringing 1 inch to the side and 0.2 on the center front part. Using our curve, I'll be connecting it to our boss point, not with too much curve. I'm bringing it to our boss point. I'm doing the same thing for this other side, for the center front side. And I'll be doing the same thing, like bringing it down to join to this dart leg with the long groove. Now after doing this, the next thing we'll do is to cut open our dart. From the M line, I'm cutting open to close our boss dart. After doing this, I'll just have to close my boss dart. Then I will use my tape to tape it down. I'll be taping it down. Now if you look closely, you will see that this other place, the dart has shifted. I'll just connect it back with my rule, my short rule, connecting it down. Now you see the effect of our dart. This is the effect of our dart. I'll be cutting out our dart legs. Now you don't need to open up this pattern again because it has already given you that flay opening. I'll cut out my dart legs. Okay. Now I'll be cutting out my pattern. Then for the neck, our front neck, I'll be going in by 1 inch. I'll come in by 1 inch, and I'll be coming down. I'll be coming down by 2 inches extra. Then I'll connect it back. I'll cut out my front pattern and we'll see what it looks like. I've been cutting out the front. This is what our front looks like after cutting out. So this gives you your perfect flay. You don't need to add any other thing except your ease. I'll be adding 2 inches for ease for this dress, and I'll be sewing out half inch on both sides. So this is what it looks like. Moving on to the back, I'll be cutting out the back, our bust tightening, our waist back tightening. Then I'll cut out the sides before we move on to the alteration. Now for our back neckline, you remember at the front we came in at the shoulder part by 1 inch. I'll be doing the same thing for the back, for the shoulder, but the width will remain the same. That means that I'll be cutting it out. I'll finish cutting out the back. The next thing I will do is I'm going to come down. I'll be coming down on the armhole. I'll be coming down on the armhole by 1 inch. This is to give us the same effect the front has. I'm coming down by 1 inch and I'm connecting it like so. Now after doing this, I will slash open our dart. And I'm cutting it through to this other part, to the 1 inch we came down at the armhole, at the side. So I'm cutting it to that side. And I'll stop maybe ½ inch away, or 0.2. Now, to make this pattern to open up, you have to bring it down, open it up. Now for this front, we did 2 inches and it opened up on its own. It depends on how wide you want the back to be. You can come down by 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inches. I'll be coming down by 2 inches. So it will be like the same thing with the front. I'm bringing it down by 2 inches. And I'll be closing it with our tape. After closing the dart I just opened, that line I opened by 2 inches, it has flayed on its own. On its own, yeah. I'll just cut out our dart legs and we are done. We'll move on to how to join the pieces together. Okay. this is our pattern. This is for the back, and this is our front. The front. Thank you guys for watching. But first of all, let me show you. This is the fabric I'll be using for this dress. I'll be using this fabric, this beautiful Ankara print fabric. This is what I'll be using for the dress.